Episode number 49 coming at your ears.
49. We are one away from 50, baby. Let's go.
You guys today will get to hear my brain at half speed and what that sounds like.
Still a quality episode. A lot of good tidbits. I feel like we dive in to understanding what it means to have a good ceremony, and we do a good job at just giving you guys tips to think about from both the vendor aspect as well as the couple aspect. So I think we did a good job there. We also do a good job spotlighting where you recently did your wedding at Sandia Event Center, so
Right.
That was really, really cool.
We're going to do that today, the event center at Sandia Golf Club, do a little venue spotlight, and then we're going to go back to the music, and you should probably hang around for that because
The best part. Easily.
It ranks in one of our top 5 back to the music episodes. I don't know if it's for all the right reasons, but it ranks. It ranks up. It's up there. It's up there.
You're going to have to listen to find out.
You got to stop having 2-week layoffs.
Yeah,
All right.
I think that's helpful.
That's what we're going to blame it on that.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we're going to say. But anyways, today's a good one. I hope you guys get some nuggets. This is an episode that's geared toward both couples, if you're newly engaged, and for vendors. I think we hope both sides will get something out of this.
Some good nuggets out of it, so I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
What's wapa? She's got you running errands, picking up wedding dresses. Wapa!
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
You are now listening to Cutmaster Cast.
Welcome back to another round of the Cutmaster Cast, your weekly dose of wedding industry insights. We are back. My name is Chris Romero.
And my name is Tony Pacheco. What's up?
And we are DJs with Cutmaster Music out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is season number 2, episode number 49.
49.
And on this cast, we like to explore our weekly events, wedding industry tips and hacks. And at the end of every episode, you know how we do it.
We take it back to the music, baby.
Always taking it back. And don't forget to share this episode and follow us on all socials at Cutmaster Music.
Yep.
So, yeah, we took a little 2-week hiatus there.
Little break.
Yeah, not by choice, really, but
It happened to us last season,
Yeah. Well, we get a little bit busy with, some events and things like that. I actually been going through a little flare-up with this long COVID stuff. I've told you all about that journey I'm going through right now, and last week was a little rough.
And the week before that, I had Super Bowl-itis.
Oh, that's right.
I was dead Monday.
I get a text from Tony on Monday morning. It was probably about 7 o'clock, and he was like, I just got home from last night and had no pod today.
We're not recording. I was dead. I completely died. It was my first real drinking experience after dry January, and I fully got alcohol poisoning.
Oh, no.
I drank like I thought I was good, and I was not. And so it was bad. It was fine. I was luckily, but
How old are you now?
30.
You drank like you were in your 20s.
Exactly. Sad.
You're learning. You gonna get your learn on.
That dry
wait
January.
till you get to 40.
Yeah.
Everything falls apart.
It reset my whole equilibrium, and you're right though. It's a little harder when you're older.
It's tough. You all know it out there. Just not in your 20s. You're like invincible. You start at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You get to your early 30s, I think you can still kind of do it, and it's all right. And then you start getting to it's like the day you hit 40,
Yeah.
everything falls apart. You sneeze, you throw your back out. Like, brushing your teeth, you fall to the ground. You don't know why. It's
For real.
What's going on? But, yeah. So anyways, no excuses. We still keep going with the events. And
Yeah.
So actually, and we can get into it now.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about our recent
What'd you
events. Last week I had a wedding. It was really the first one that I've had since the New Year's Eve wedding.
Yep.
So it's, I would say, in essence, the first one of the year for me. And man, I was dealing with just this flare up of long COVID, and without getting too deep into it, basically I deal with this crazy fatigue.
Yeah.
So my birthday was on the 17th, and I woke up that morning just feeling really tired, and I could feel it. And then from that point, it was just kind of like this downhill. I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. It's weird stuff. And so I'm just trying to get through like Friday, which is when our event was. And I was really excited about this wedding, just being you take some time off and you kind of get those feelings again of like excited, almost like it's your first one all over
Oh, yeah.
again,
It feels
right?
good to get back in it. Even me, I was just helping you set up that day. And I
Right.
was like, yeah, this feels good. Rolling in equipment. Let's
Totally.
go. We back.
So, yeah, we were out at the event center at Sandia Golf Club.
Mhm.
Out there with Ashley, and we are actually going to talk about that venue today. We're going to get into a new segment a little bit later on that we are calling the venue spotlight. But the event itself was really cool.
It was like a massively Disney theme, right?
It was a Disney theme. They built think about like a wedding ceremony arch.
Yeah.
Well, they did that with Mickey Mouse ears. And this thing, you guys, if you didn't see my Instagram post, like literally it was huge. It was gigantic. It was made of wood.
Yeah.
What was kind of cool is my cousin, Jessica, who is married to, her husband, Vince, was in the wedding and he's the one that built it.
That's cool.
And so the groom was telling me how they were building this thing out in front of their house, like they've been doing this for a
Nice.
while. And it was pretty impressive. I never
It's
seen
got to
anything
be very
like it.
satisfying to see it at the wedding. We had our lights there,
Right.
and they also had it for ceremony.
They did it so that's where
So
we
that
first
was
saw
cool.
it. So
Yeah.
out at the event center, the backdrop with the mountains, they had it out there for the ceremony, Disney theme. I mean, just it was really, really well done and well built.
Nice, that's cool. And was it in pieces? How did they move that thing?
It was in 3 pieces.
Okay,
So they
makes
brought
sense.
it into the event center. They originally wanted it on a stage on a riser, and they were like, no way. I mean, it literally went to about the roof. And it was huge, but it was cool. It was elegant, like it was really just professional. And then what we
awesome.
did, like kind of providing to the Disney theme,
Yeah.
we did a monogram on my DJ booth, and I designed this. I took a YouTube video that kind of had the intro, where Tinkerbell comes down in the Magic Kingdom, and then she draws out the name in Disney.
Like the beginning
writing.
of the Disney movie with the castle and all that.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then it would just stay like that for about 5 minutes or so, and then it was on loop.
Well, it was
throughout the
cool
night.
because she would like write out the name, or like it would like tap it, and the name would come out all Disney.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yeah, so it was cool. They had, and really, so it wasn't overdone with Disney. There was like those little touches, but the only Disney music was played during the ceremony. That was really it.
Did you mash up anything or do anything crazy during open dance?
Not with Disney stuff, no.
Circle of Life. Right?
You know what?
House version.
So I'll
Just
tell you the
kidding.
honest truth. Like, this was one of those events. Like I said, I mean, really, I was trying to physically get through it, right?
Yeah.
And looking back, I really wish I'd have been filling better, because I think I would have done things like that. Like, I didn't take a lot of footage. I mean, we talked about, I was telling you yesterday about the grand entrance, right?
Oh yeah.
Was really cool. They did this thing.
Explain it, because this is a really good idea.
Okay,
Honestly.
so I'm going to play this for you, actually, what we played. And we brought in the wedding party, right? And then
They came in. It was hype. Good times.
it was super hype.
Yeah.
And then I said something along the lines of, okay, I need everybody to get up out of those seats. We had passed out. They had some foam glow sticks, and we
Nice.
had put one on each chair at all the tables. And I said, I need you to grab those foam glow sticks, and listen to the following instructions. And then we played this.
Good evening, passengers. Welcome aboard on the flight. From this moment on, cell phones should be switched on.
And I made a
put
custom
into
edit
flashlight
of this,
mode.
which shortened
Nice.
it.
May
So
we ask for your
when it
attention
gets to the drop,
while
you'll
our
see.
cabin crew demonstrates the safety features on this flight. Please raise both hands up in the sky. Now slowly wave
So the
from
wedding
the
party
left
was out there
to
Okay.
the
with their glow
right.
sticks.
Left, right,
Nice.
left, right.
Right. So you have the whole crowd
And
waving
actually,
slowly.
Joe, who was assisting me, was doing the lights, and it was like,
Yeah. Fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
That's really cool.
left, right, left, right, left, right.
So this whole room is erupting with just lighting and oh wow.
And then this is where I was like, and now let's bring in the brand new Mr. and Mrs. Lucero.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Right here. Nice.
So it was a super hype moment, right? They come in and
Definitely high energy.
yeah, it was high energy. It was cool, but I was saving all of my physical energy for like this moment because I knew it needed to be hype. I'm doing my best, to really, and this is what we do as professionals. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast. Like the show must go on, right? This is the greatest day of their life. I don't ever take that for granted.
Yep.
And so, but I knew like I needed to conserve the energy that I had because, I mean, literally this stuff makes me lightheaded. I mean, if I stand too long, if I talk too long, I get
challenging.
Yeah, I get like dizzy, and just as the fatigue. So I knew I needed to get through this, make it hype, and of course I didn't take any footage because I'm not even caring about any of that. Right?
Recording it, no, you just want to make it great, so you're locking in.
That was it. So, I wish I had got footage of that because it really was a cool moment. Like everybody was standing up and doing the left, right with their glow stick. So it was fun. It was cool. Dinner, we just did a big mix. They wanted to do a mix of dinner music, so we played a little bit of everything. It was fun. Did their formalities. They were really quick with those, and then we just got into the dancing for the night.
Nice.
It was a Friday, so it ended up ending a little bit earlier than they had planned for, but I would say it ended roughly, I think it was 10 o'clock, which was a good time.
See, but that's what we should say all the time.
It was perfect, and you could tell like people had been working. It was a work day.
Yeah. Another thing you'd need to factor in on a Friday.
They came to the wedding. They danced. They had a great time. The bride and groom were super happy at the end of the night, but you could tell they were tired. Then I think they probably just took, their 10, 15 people, their crew that still wanted to hang out. And they went to the casino, like across the way.
That is the beauty of that venue.
Right. So it was cool. It was a fun night.
Nice. That's good.
Once again, I wish I had been feeling a little bit better because in hindsight, I think I could have added maybe a few more Disney elements and things like that. But overall, they had a great time. I think the music was good.
Nice.
It was fun.
That's good.
So
great way to kick off the year. You know what I mean? With a successful wedding.
Right.
I'm excited. My first one's next week, and I'm pumped. They want to party. They want to dance. It's a longer dance than traditionally. It's like about 3.5, 4 hours.
Where's it at?
Sid Cutter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
I dig this. I actually like the Sid Cutter Pavilion. We need to do a venue. So after you go there, because this is your first wedding for yourself there, right?
Yeah.
So after you go there, take some notes, like at least some mental notes
I'll
of
get
it.
some video, and I'll try to be more mindful.
And we'll do it as a venue spotlight as well, because I actually enjoy that space.
It's a hidden gem for sure.
Right.
And they're going to be doing a lot of cool things that I feel like that are unique to that venue. One, for example, would be like the hot air balloon exit. You know what I mean? That's sick.
Well, and there's not very many venues where you can bring in your own catering too. And that's one of them.
Exactly. So there's a lot of like little hidden gems too that you don't necessarily think about in terms of like planning a wedding, right? Like you think, oh, I'd love to have my wedding here, but you can't bring in your own food, and you're like, well, that stinks, right? And so those little things are important to think about.
Yeah. We'll talk about
that more. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that, in our venue spotlight. So any events that you've had recently?
I've been DJing at Marble. I did a couple of things there. Marble West Side. Trying to think of anything.
You did we talk about you were helping out Brian with
NMASC?
Senate stuff.
Those
right?
are crazy. Those are really, really fun. It's like 1,200 to 2,000 kids, middle school and high school, and all of their student senate go for a big conference every year, and it's fun because they only dance for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you just flood them with bangers. They're really, really good kids who just want to dance and have fun, and it's so much fun because night one for the warm-up, they have like totems that you see at festivals, and these kids are in full-on school spirit swag, red, blue, green, all their school colors, whatever. And then the next day is a little more formal, but that one's just you're going crazy from beginning to end because you only have an hour.
Right.
So I'm literally yelling at the kids on the mic, let's go, get in here. The faster you get in here, the faster we can get it going. And I'm already starting with a banger. Kids are already flooding in. But that one's so much fun. A high-energy event that really just gets you excited for the year.
Talk about the music and how these kids react to the music a little bit, because these are going to be like our future up-and-coming couples, right? And how they view the world of music, which is a little bit different than even current couples maybe, and then, of course, the older couples, right?
It's getting quick.
Right.
Quick mixing. They can't even handle 16-count phrases. All they want is the TikTok drop and then they're
That's
out.
it.
They don't even know
Yeah.
the words to
They
the
want
rest of the song.
they want the chorus to my Lil Boo thing, and then that's it.
Exactly. And so it's so weird when you're DJing. I gave them the drop. It was immaculate. They loved it. And literally 3 to 5 seconds later, they're looking at you and saying, "Go, what's next? What's
Right.
coming? You
When's
know
the
what I
next
mean?
drop?
Yeah. Like,
But
that, are like,
and
are
the-
you
and the
bringing in lyrics or
And the
something
psychology
changing?
of it is weird, right? Because think about it. You can't, and we've talked about this when we're in training. You can't have peaks without valleys.
Yeah.
So you can't be on 100 all the time. Like it just doesn't work. Physically, it doesn't work. Like
Exactly.
it doesn't. You can't always be up here. You
Yeah.
got to have.
And then when you're DJing too, like it takes a second to get to the next song. It takes 16 counts. Like I'm gonna get there. I'm about to deliver something nice.
Right.
Just give me a traditional. Like no, we don't even have to do 32.
They can't even just vibe out
Yeah,
and enjoy
just
themselves
for
for
a
a little
sec,
bit. You
you
know,
know?
it's
And then you go on the other end of the spectrum. I get critiqued a lot for not playing the full song. We just got out there, right? Oldies or older generational people will hear the song, wait till the chorus goes, and then they'll be like, okay, I think it's time. Well, let's go dance. This sounds fun. And then I'm already moving on to the next thing, and then they get mad at me because I've transitioned too fast.
It's interesting where
not even
music
playing
has
the full
gone, right?
song.
Like our parents' generation, where they listen to albums,
Yeah.
like front to back, you know, and just now it's give me that 10-second snippet.
It's all about the TikTok clip. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They want that viral moment that extends the life of the song, right? Because
Right.
then you can apply it in different places and all of that stuff. But that's why, a lot of these albums are becoming shorter.
Yeah,
Are becoming a little bit to like 30-minute albums as opposed to your traditional 1-hour album. And even now, I find myself, I'm like, hour and 10 minutes, I'll throw it on, but then I'll start doing other things and all of that. Even myself, I find that that's a long album.
Yeah.
45 minutes to 50 minutes, I feel like is nice for me personally.
it's
But-
interesting. It's interesting to see where music is going. So
Right.
yeah,
Mashups too. Mashups are king. And Drake, he will never die.
and Drake.
It's funny how it's not the same Drake. It's not Yeah by Usher that has just gone. It's new songs every couple years.
Yeah,
Right now, it's Rich Baby Daddy. That song is insane right now. A couple years ago, it was that YG Who Do You Love? Who Do You Love? That was a big one too, right?
Yeah.
But there's just so many different waves of Drake, and he's still doing it.
right.
So it's interesting.
Well, it's it's
Taylor,
like,
too.
It's like the waves of Beyonce.
Yeah,
now
Beyonce.
now she's
Country.
she's Beyonce.
Beyonce. Yee Beyonce. I like that. No, yeah, Beyonce. It's country music. I have a very big theory that is going to be a stronger wave than it was last year.
So, but it's funny,
Coming.
right? Because like they're calling it country, but it's not.
It's pop.
It's pop.
It's
I mean,
not.
yeah,
It's
you-
not
you-
Alan Jackson, Tim McGraw. You know
Like,
what I mean?
Oh, they're gonna make a remix of her track. It's just like
Or even there you go, right?
it's
Luke,
pop- it's
Luke
pop.
Combs, right? That's just a cover, a remake,
right.
exact remake, and it hit.
Yeah.
But I think that country sound is definitely coming into its own, like where it's now the top 40 of the top 40. It used to be hip hop. It was dance music went around like 2010, 2012 with the Aviciis, the Calvin Harrises,
that
right?
EDM phase, right?
Yeah, the LMFAO, and then it transitioned a lot into hip hop and into
Right.
like Kendrick Lamar, Drake,
Mm.
Kanye West. I remember that being big in like 2014, 2015. Drake, I already said Drake, J. Cole, but now I feel like it's transitioning into country
Right.
because we've been seeing that SoundCloud rap that was big in like 17, 18, really diving down. Finally, God bless. The quality of that is just
Terrible.
yeah, and you know, I feel like things happen in hip hop where like one of the members of the Migos dies, right, passes away, R.I.P. But like that's like something that influenced hip hop, right? Like, and so all of these things around that, the drug use is influencing it in a negative way to where now hip hop is now being dominated in the female market where it's still thriving well,
Right.
but it's female dominated, and now I'm seeing country kind of clash with the female hip hop. And country's kind of overtaking.
Right.
I'm noticing, especially because Beyonce's the number one country artist song
It's
right
the
now.
number one song right now. Yeah, and
Isn't that crazy?
it's crazy. I mean, that's it's music, right?
Yeah. And just last year we were like, "Ooh, Beyonce's on a house vibe. Let's go!" Right? So
yeah, that never really took off.
it did. Nah, not really.
Yeah,
Because Drake did it, Beyonce did it. It never like
No.
fully blew. It's still there, but not like pop.
I feel like last year we saw the emergence of like new disco and the disco sound, right? Like,
Definitely.
and bringing back a lot of the throwbacks with the disco vibe. I mean, we were playing a lot of that stuff, especially in the private event world.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's interesting to see where things are going. So yeah, maybe we got this yeehaw music coming
It's coming.
in 2024 with Beyonce.
I could see it. I could
Maybe we're gonna
definitely
get yeehaw Drake.
see it. Yeehaw Drake. I could see it. You know who's coming out with a country
Dreehaw.
album?
Who?
Post Malone.
With the country album. I can
He is-
see that.
He's dropping a country album.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise. I like Posty.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite shows I saw last year.
Nice.
Yeah, he was good stuff. Okay, so we are going to get into a new segment
Yeah.
that we are calling Ceremony Secrets. My dirty little ceremony secret.
I love it.
Man. Okay, so Ceremony Secrets. We wanted to, think of some new segments to hit you all with this year and talk a little bit about ceremonies themselves, right? So I think today what we're going to do to just kind of break into this is we're going to give you 3 tips, both from the couples side. So this is going to help potential couples out there
Nice.
for your ceremony. And then also on the vendor side, to help
yeah.
wedding vendors out there, especially for somebody that's newer coming into the industry.
Mhm.
All right. So the first one I want to talk about, and this is geared toward couples, is to make sure that your DJ, or maybe you're using like a quartet, or somebody like that, but whoever's running your sound and AV, sound check is crucial. All right. You need to ensure that your DJ performs a sound check at the ceremony location, like well before the event starts. And this could be either the day before, if you're doing like a rehearsal, or, at minimum, it needs to be before the actual event starts, right? You don't want to be adjusting microphones and doing all of that stuff and testing things during the actual ceremony, guys.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Let's start over. Go back. Can we do that again?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you need to work out all your playback, devices and technical issues and all of that stuff beforehand.
Running. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and taking things like acoustics of the venue and potential interference problems and wind, background noise if you're outside.
Yep.
I
was going to say running the equipment through with the officiant or whoever's handling the microphones. I've had instances where somebody in the passing of the mic muted it, because on my microphone, it's the tap of a button on the bottom of the mic.
Right.
And so if you say, hey, if you see this little red dot, and if for any reason it's not working, check that it's muted first. I don't want to run up there and be like, oh, sorry. You know what I mean? So I run with them the equipment. I say 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to touch the bottom of the mic. Just hand it over, make sure you're good. But it's good to make sure you're going through all of those things, because if something happens, it's important for them to know and not you as the DJ interfere with the ceremony. It's a lot more natural if they can fix the problem themselves versus you. It's less intrusive.
Right. Totally. So sound check is crucial. Number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, I think you can curate, a personalized playlist that for your wedding, especially like the prelude, which is like the pre-ceremony music as your guests are arriving.
Yep.
Have some fun with that. So my wedding this past weekend that we talked about, they did Disney instrumentals.
Perfect.
And it was cool because it sounds like, and I like the instrumentals. Typically, if it's not like a Disney wedding, and if I'm giving like a recommendation on what, because a lot of couples, they don't know what to do. They're like, what should we do? And I'm like, well, I think instrumentals that are of like covers of music that we typically like know.
Yeah.
Is kind of cool, because your guests will be sitting there. It'll sound like, whatever. It could be the Vitamin String Quartet or the guitar
Piano
quartet,
guys.
Piano guys.
Good job.
And it's like background instrumental music, and it sounds like, okay, number 1, it feels like I'm at a ceremony.
Yeah,
Okay.
very elegant.
Yeah, I'm at a wedding. It feels elegant. But then you're like, wait a minute. Is that like,
Is that Don't Stop Believing by
that
Journey?
Yeah. Isn't that's Don't Stop Believing.
Is that Dua Lipa? So soft piano.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, and it's just something a little bit different, right?
I think it's a great way to like include your personality without having to like really think about any high of expectations. You know what I mean? Because this is just music while you arrive. I've definitely had people who will play traditional love songs and all of that, but I love an instrument, acoustic guitar, a harp, soft piano. All of these things really add an elegance. And what I like about that is if you're able to play that there, you can transform your music during dinner, during cocktail, and your night evolves, right? It doesn't just, you're not just playing the same old stuff from the beginning to end. It really changes throughout the night. And then another thing that I loved is I just have to shout out one of my grooms last year. We did. He's like they're Irish, so we did like quarter Celtic kind of vibes. He loved Lord of the Rings, and so we created
play Dropkick Murphys.
well, not during the ceremony. We did during open dance though.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like they love that type of stuff. Right. But during the ceremony, we played songs from The Hobbit, from Lord of the Rings, right? And really created that soft, elegant, because they loved Lord of the Rings. So we were able to incorporate their love for movies, but also create an elegant vibe that also like was in tune with their heritage.
Yeah.
It was so crazy how we were able to hit 3 in 1, all with music.
we
So,
talk about making, your wedding yours, right?
Yeah.
And this is a great way to do that.
I loved it. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, so.
Awesome. Number 3, plan for the transitions. Okay, and this could be during the ceremony. So discuss with your DJ how to handle transitions between different segments.
Mm-hmm.
And so one that I think about in particular with this is like if you're going to do like a sand ceremony, or actually last week they did. They put together a puzzle with some members of their family. They had like a couple of like I can't remember who it was, but I remember a couple of little of girls that came up.
Great.
And they put together this little puzzle together.
I love that.
It was pretty cool. And
That's
so
new.
and so we had some background music like during that time that we had actually specifically they had picked out, and it was music from their church.
Nice.
So once again, they made it about them. This was some cool background transition music, so that way people aren't just sitting there feeling kind of awkward.
It's awkward if there's nothing,
Yeah.
And so I love when we can suggest songs like that, giving them just something to do while they sign the marriage license. I've seen planting a tree, tying a knot,
Sand
ceremony, wine tasting. I've seen a crazy one.
I want to go to that wedding.
Right? I saw one where they wrote notes to each other, and on their first fight, they would open it up and read it together. All kinds of different things.
This is probably like after the dollar dance.
Right. So I think it's a great way to incorporate and think about those transitions. Also, I think it's super important for you as the DJ, also as the bride. Ask the DJ, how's the mic going to be moved? Who's going to be holding it? I think it's super important to talk about what announcements are going to be made before and after, right? And then also, too, who's going to be doing readings? So there's a couple things in that. Let me break it down. So first, readings. Who's going to be saying poems, blessings, or anything like that? Where's the mic going to start? Where's it going to end up? Do you want your vows amplified? Think about the transition of the passing of the mic, because that's a huge, huge thing. I'm a firm believer that you do not need a mic stand at your ceremony. You can have a wireless hand mic or a lapel mic, and just make sure you understand where that mic is going, right? Now, the next thing is make sure you understand how to make an announcement, or who is going to be making the announcement to get the guests to go to cocktail hour or welcome them for no cell phones. Making sure you have those announcements in place. Is the officiant saying them? Is the DJ going to say them? So at the end of the event or at the end of the ceremony, guests are like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like the wedding party just walked out. Now what do we do?
Yeah, the music's going. Everyone's like, what is happening? Right. So it's nice to have that. Okay, DJ's going to turn the tunes down. Officiant will make the announcement. Then once that announcement's done, music comes back up and we transition right into cocktail.
Right.
So yeah, thinking about those transitions, even though they might feel very little, they're huge.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so now we're going to do a few tips here on the vendor side.
Nice.
All right, so first and foremost, communication is key.
All day.
So establishing a clear line of communication with the DJ before the wedding day, sharing timelines, cues, any special instructions, kind of like what you were just talking about, right? So for examples, photographers can benefit from knowing when key moments like the first kiss or the recessional will happen to position themselves for shots. So like a lot of times at our final meeting, I will talk with our couple that it's great when he says, now I would like to present to you the brand new Mr. and Mrs., right? And then I typically will hit the music. They'll start walking down the aisle, and I will tell them, you know what is a great picture opportunity? Stop right in the middle of the aisle, dip and kiss or whatever, do a kiss right at that point. That's a great photo opportunity. Well, guess what? You should let the photographers know that that's gonna
happen.
Hey, this is gonna happen, right? And sometimes the photographers will actually do that also before.
They do a good job, but if they don't, it's important to communicate it, right? Because then they'll be like, okay, great, I'm aware of it. I can be there for the shot. Or even if like, hey, I know that they have bubble guns or confetti cannons.
Right.
So that's going to happen midway through. Just be aware of that, right? Or communicating as the DJ with the couple on any key moments that you want. Like say you want the lyrics to hit right when you get to the chairs.
Right.
Emphasizing that, communicate that, because it's totally possible. But if you don't communicate it, then we don't know. Or even just making sure timing right on when the bride is supposed to leave with the DJ. Make sure you're communicating, because it's so much smoother when you're able to be on the same page versus just guess. I think he's playing the music.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's communication between vendors. Super key.
All day.
Number 2, synchronize your schedules. Okay, so all vendors should be on the same page, regarding the ceremony schedule and what's going to follow and what's happening after that. So this coordination ensures that the transitions between different parts of the event are smooth and that there are no unexpected delays or overlaps that could affect the overall experience, right?
Yeah, I think it's just all about making sure you have, we'll have a timeline. I'll talk to them about the timeline. If I have a planner and they've sent me their timeline, that's even easier, because then I just go with what they've got.
Right.
But a lot of times I'll go to, if we don't have a planner, I'll have a rough timeline on what I think is going to happen. Then I'll go to the catering staff, right? Because they're the ones usually passing out champagne or different things. What do you have for champagne drop, grand intro? Where are you at? And then it's just being able to adapt. Right? Oh, okay. Well, I had 555. You got 6. Let's work with 6. Right? And like you said, synchronizing them and being able to adapt and not be so stern on, well, grand intro is 555 on mine, so we're doing it. Being able to
be flexible.
Flexible. Thank you. That's the word.
Right. Okay. And number 3, for ceremonies with vendors is to collaborate on space and setup. All right. So vendors should collaborate on the layout and the setup of the ceremony space to ensure that everyone has what they need to perform their roles. So for example, the DJ needs enough space for their equipment and speakers, to be placed strategically for the best sound coverage, while decorators need to know where the DJ setup's also going to be so they can plan decor accordingly, right?
Yeah.
So, just collaborating and knowing where you're going to go. And then there's also different needs. Like, for example, some DJs out there may not want to be placed in the back with their setup if the speakers are going to be in the front. It just depends, like on gear and equipment, but sometimes like if the transmitter, the microphone is too far away from the receiver from the actual DJ table, that could affect microphone dropouts, right?
True. Yeah.
So actually having your DJ as close as they can be to the efficient without, obviously being in pictures and things like that, and this is where you got to plan and coordinate. This is why you do it. But it's more of a functional thing, right? So like I try to get line of sight, like no cell phones, nobody in between me, like as close as I can get to the actual microphones, just so we don't have dropouts with the microphones,
And that's the biggest thing, because once the dropouts start happening, everybody at the ceremony turns around and starts looking at you.
Yeah, like I can control wavelengths.
It's so frustrating
I got
sometimes.
Superpowers.
That's why ceremony, I feel like we have a good job. We have a lot of systems in place. I know how to work microphone frequencies pretty well. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm pretty confident in what I can do. But even with all that said, sometimes it can happen, and it's just so frustrating because it's nothing you can do. And it works when there's not 100 cell phones in between the receiver and the transmitter, right?
Right.
But then it just depends where you're at,
It depends on a lot of things.
right? There's so many factors.
So I've spent a lot of money on high quality microphones,
Yeah.
so that way
The fin.
I've got a little bit more length and room to avert any of this stuff. But some DJs out there don't have that, right? But you can still control it and still make life easier on them. Just put them closer.
Yeah, exactly.
Get them as close as you can to the actual microphones, and they'll be fine. If with
true.
not as expensive gear, I guess. So
Yeah.
but things like that,
Yeah.
just collaborate on space and setup, and everybody knowing. And a lot of it comes down to that number one that we talked about, which is just communication, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So those are our ceremony secrets for today. Hopefully you
Nice.
guys got a little something out of that.
Mhm.
And next, we want to go to a segment that we are calling Venue Spotlight. I don't have any music for that.
Ooh.
What's some good spotlight music?
Spotlight.
Let's see. Who does Spotlight? Jennifer Hudson.
Okay.
Madonna has a Spotlight song.
Okay.
Ooh.
I like it.
I think this is the official Spotlight music now. There it is.
It's a vibe.
80s vibe. All right. Here we go. Venue Spotlight. Okay, so today we want to spotlight and highlight the event center at Sandia Golf Club. Since I was out there recently, we are actually out there a lot. So
For sure.
Ashley's the venue coordinator out there. She's awesome. She does a great job. She does the bookings, and she's pretty much your day of planner, at the space over there. Does an amazing job. So I want us to talk about, the things that we enjoy about the event center at Sandia Golf Club. So this segment here is geared towards you couples out there.
Yeah.
You're looking for a space. Maybe you're newly engaged. You're trying to check out some different areas and spaces in town. And I think this is one you should not overlook. All right. So number one for me, the views. All right. You don't get a better view of the mountains and being as close to the mountains. This is literally, I think, as close as you can get to the mountains out of any venue in town.
And it's nice because you get views from every angle. You have a really cool view from the city. You can see the city and the skyline and all that. And then you also have the beautiful mountain of the Sandias, right? You get a sunset at that time.
Literally your ceremony. Like that is your backdrop.
Exactly.
Your backdrop is the mountain.
I already assume they're doing sunset photos at that space, right? Whereas there's other venues where you can't get a great sunset because there's buildings or different things, right? I know you're going to want a sunset photo at that space because the views are just immaculate.
Yep. So, and we can talk about the ceremony space along with that. The ceremony space is awesome. It's
all there,
outdoor.
yeah.
It's all there. It's built in. What I like about it too is all the sound and audio is built in. And we'll talk about this from a DJ's perspective and vendor perspective as well. But they take care of all of that for you. So your ceremony package includes, the microphones and the sound. It's like they've got speakers built into the rocks and stuff out there.
Yeah,
So
it's so nice.
it's really nice. Sounds good, looks good. They allow you to customize it, kind of like they did this past weekend. They had the big Disney arch out there, that was super cool.
That's cool.
Cocktail hour is typically, they have a patio area. So what I really like about this venue is there's not very many places here in Albuquerque where you can get the whole indoor-outdoor experience. And this is one of those spots.
Yeah.
You can be both indoor and outdoor. I like the patio because it's like a hybrid, right? Where during the summer months, the warmer time of year, the windows all open up.
Yeah.
And so you have this outdoor patio space. But if it's colder or if it gets cooler, kind of like this past weekend, they had it open, but once the sun goes down, temperatures drop really quickly.
Yeah.
Then you just close those doors and
still can use it.
You can still use
problem. Yeah. And it's nice because it has the transitional. You know what I mean?
Right.
Each individual space. You don't have to have your cocktail and your dinner in the same area. And it really gives those guests that transition from one end to the next.
I agree. And we typically will have our photo booth out there
Yeah.
in that area too. So, cocktail hours on the patio is great. The reception space, I would say, can handle about 200 to
That's what I was gonna
250
say.
comfortably.
Yeah.
I was trying.
250 in there. Remember that one where you were like, there were too many people here?
They had over 300 in
Yeah.
that one.
So there you go.
But it wasn't 300 people sitting down. That was a corporate event. It definitely was not a wedding.
Yeah.
I was trying to look for some information on their website, and it did say that the ceremony area can handle 250.
Okay.
So I would say that's probably like their cap, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
250 for the space when you're talking about people sitting down and
Yeah.
needing to be seated. I could be wrong. Ashley, if you're listening to this, you can correct me.
Let us know.
But I feel like our weddings tend to fall in around that 200.
Mm-hmm.
Person.
180, 200. I feel like that's always worth it.
Right there. The food is great.
Always money.
I feel like I had asked Ashley recently, like, did you guys get a new chef? Because I never thought the food was terrible, but I noticed some improvement, like post COVID for whatever reason. And I thought she had mentioned that there was maybe somebody new in there cooking for them, but I don't know. The food is great. I had a filet this past weekend.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was
so
awesome.
many different things there, because they've had like
They had a pignon chicken. I know that.
good.
I think Joseph had it this past, and he
Nice.
said it was
They
really
just
good.
have a lot of good options.
Yeah.
And I've never been disappointed with the food for sure.
Food is great. They have a bridal suite, for them to get ready in beforehand, so that they're able to use that. Let's see what else. From the DJ and vendor perspective, we really like it because easy load in, load out for us.
Oh yeah, so easy. You pull right up to the space, you can load right in, and it takes less than 10 minutes.
The only time I've ever had issues, so you might think about this, is if too many vendors get there at the same time, because the load-in area, it's a circle driveway, and it's a limited amount of space there.
I make sure to get there early.
I usually get there about 3 to 3.5 hours
I'm
before.
I'm getting there first because I'm not trying to deal with all this extra, all the vendors. Because a lot of people come in, they got to come in and out, and
Right.
and it is a challenge, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
It's
So the distance is nice, but the actual loading in area, not a ton of space.
it can get cluttered for sure.
It can get cluttered. But do like that. The ceremonies for us, we actually charge less to do ceremonies there.
You don't have to bring sound.
We don't have to bring in an extra setup. So we plug right in, and I love it. Like, we are inside the actual reception space, so nobody sees the DJ outside at all.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the voice of God, right? And
The magic of music just happens.
And we play everything from inside, but it's great because the wedding party all lines up right next to us inside, and the coordination and
The timing of it's so nice.
it's seamless, right?
Because they're right there at the door, right before they open it. I can be like, okay, go.
We can literally be talking and they can't hear us out
Yes,
there. It's
exactly.
like, okay, when's play this music now, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
So I love the ceremony setup. And same thing for cocktail hour, because we can plug right into the house system, and there's plenty of power all over the place.
In the ground, in the walls.
In the
They'll
walls.
fix it for you too.
Right.
Remember we had in the ground. I guess something had gotten shorted or something. He's like, "Oh, that should work now." So they fixed it.
Yeah. So So anything else that you would say? I mean, thinking of couples and vendors out there about the space.
I love what you can do with the space. I think it's versatile because you can also cut it in half. Say your wedding is only about 100 or so.
Yep, we've done that too.
And you want it to still feel full. You can cut the room in half and still get that same look and feel without having to have an empty space. What else is cool about that venue? It's right next to the casino.
Yeah,
That's cool.
So actually, that is one of the I forgot to mention. I think the option for an after party is really good there. Now, they don't offer like an after party package or anything like that.
Right.
It's that you have the casino that's right there, and they will actually shuttle you from
There you go.
there from the event center over to the casino. It's not really that far of a walk either.
No, but it's the even quicker shuttle. It's like a 1-minute shuttle.
Right. But
know?
and I would say for those of you couples that are thinking of using the event space out there, you might have it till midnight, but a lot of times, and if you go back and listen, we say this over and over and over. You don't have to go till midnight, especially when you have an option like the casino right there. Get your 2.5, 3 hours of open dancing in, wear your guests out, let them have a great time, go out with most of your guests there, fist pumping, and then take your 15, guests that want to keep partying in your
right.
wedding party and go over to the lounge at the casino where there's tons of energy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't recreate that vibe that we had 3 hours ago. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then go kick it over there, right? And keep the party going.
Exactly.
So,
You can go a little longer, and then that the option to have that is really, really nice.
Right.
Versus like just trying to find a bar downtown or something when you're like in Albuquerque or something like that. You know what I mean?
right. Totally. So that's the venue spotlight for the event center at Sandia Golf Club. If you have any other questions about it, feel free to reach out to us on all the socials and hit up Ashley. Tell her we sent you there.
Yeah.
All right. It's time. Where we're going, we don't need. What does he say? We don't need
Roads?
Roads. I had a mid
I believe it's called a brain fart.
mid brain fart. I don't even know.
That's what I've learned in this longevity of it all is they still want the same old stuff, but they want it in a new way.
Right. So yeah,
And they want it shorter, dang it.
I know. Well,
Just kidding.
I mean, and
not
that's,
everyone does.
not everyone does, but I think you know, there's something to that, right? Like especially if you get into like Hot in Here. I mean, we don't want 5 minutes of Nelly.
Yeah,
like
right.
no dance floor, I think right now wants that. If you can get
true.
into a verse and chorus and get out and verse and chorus and DMX and then verse and chorus into and verse, and, you know, a lot of that stuff, then it gives you that club vibe. It keeps it going. It keeps it fresh. And, you know, I think that's what a lot of the couples right now, they're looking for that,
They
right?
really want it to feel a lot of couples are wanting it to feel like the club at certain times. They really want that elegance, that professionalism, but then they also want to get ratchet too.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing a lot of couples right now that keep coming to us, and they talk about the mixing of the music.
Yeah.
We went to a wedding because we always ask them the question, right? Like, what are some things that you've seen at weddings and that you both like and didn't like?
Yeah.
And a lot of comments on the don't like part are that the DJ played the entire version of the song. We sat there and did the wobble for 7 minutes, right?
Yeah. Did you? I saw that. I think I saw that you liked that post with the DJ requests with the tips.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
went to their honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
So, so what it is it's a tip where you put the most unrequested songs, or the groom's most hated song was the wobble. If they tipped $100, they would play the wobble, and that would get the bride and the groom have to dance to those 10 tracks. But all of that money goes into a honeymoon fund.
I haven't seen that, but
I thought you liked it. I thought I saw it on socials. It's all good.
But that's interesting,
right? I love it. I think it's such a good idea.
So then, I think
Maybe
it's
not.
kind of, I
Maybe
think
they
it's
won't.
kind of cool too. Just in the pure fact that number one, they would have a heads up of it beforehand, right?
Yes.
So you've talked about this with them,
Mm-hmm.
and we say, okay, like, what if you put these 10 tracks in here, and
Some of them
they
could
have
be
to-
your absolute must plays, bangers, and then there's some that are your absolute
right,
hated
that you
ones.
can't, that you hate, and then you just tell them, look, I won't play the entire track.
Yeah,
I'll just play a verse and chorus of
Yep,
it, right?
exactly.
But you'll know that you just got
$100. Yeah, if you're dancing to the wobble right now, you just made.
I would
$100.
much rather do that in lieu of like a dollar dance.
Oh yeah, that's
know.
the way to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. There's a.
Wheels are turning.
I know, like that. I dig that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes like something like kind of like a novelty type of thing, like throughout the night, right?
And then you got some dude who's just willing to he looks like he's got money. You know what I mean? So he keeps playing these tracks, but it goes to your honeymoon fund. So you,
right?
I love that idea because you're like encouraging tips, but you're not getting tips. You're giving.
It's not to the DJ, right?
Exactly,
You're giving it. It's to the. I love that, dedicated to the honeymoon fund.
Yeah,
You know, and you got a potential to make $1,000 here.
for real.
Like
It's 10 requests.
right? Dang. That's it. I'm getting remarried. Monica, we need it. We're gonna renew vows, and we're gonna
like
do a
it.
no request jar. Although we like everything, but yeah, you just throw whatever, right? You just throw 10 tracks in there, and they think that we're not allowed to play these. I dig that idea. Good stuff.
Nice.
All right, cool. So I think that is gonna do it, and we are gonna put a bow on this episode, number 49. We're almost to 50,
50.
and we're getting
Big
close.
5-0.
So I think we'll try and do it again next week. We're going to try to not have a 2-week layoff for you guys, but
Definitely.
thanks for hanging out, especially those of you that stuck around after that debacle of Back to the Music today. It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't our brightest.
You know what?
We
It
got
was cool.
two.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I just wish we would have known what the song was.
I think I have an idea to fix it. What if we came at each other with songs and tried to stump each other?
Right. Like
And
we
what
need to
did
go
is stem it out previously.
I think but I think we might even be able to find people. I think that's not the only guy that does this.
That's fair.
We need to just go to YouTube.
Because
We'll
I was
find some and
thinking we
stump each
can
other.
make our own and go like break it down from stems. Start at the drums, then go to the bass, then go to the melody,
Yeah.
go to the lyrics, and then
Might be able to do that. Yeah.
easy.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
We can do that. All right. Next time.
next time for sure.
All right.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks for checking out the Cutmaster Cast podcast. Make sure you stay tuned with all things related at www.cutmastermusic.com.